off, trying to take off his hat. These niggas false advertising until I hit them with nothing but facts. Call my children on the phone, they come and snap after snap. Steady bringing me dollars, now that's rack after rack. Cause I get money, I be making moves, yep. I be jugging around. Better keep tight.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yansers. This is episode 144. What's going on, Big Mike?
Oh, living the dream. So happy to be here today.
Yeah. It's hump day. It's hump day.
Hump day.
Middle of the week. As we were coming on, we said game time, and then I switched it up and I had said sippy time. Can you recall that? Do you recall that movie, what that's from?
Sippy time. No.
Sippy time.
I don't.
This is the end. Michael Cera.
Yeah.
When they walk in and he's with them two girls.
Yeah.
And he's holding his Capri Sun.
Yeah.
And he just looks over it. I think so.
We're freezing already. This is not a good start to the episode. This is not good at all. He's like frozen. Like, there, he's back.
I froze.
Yeah, you're like, he looked over and.
Did you hear my whole sippy time tale?
No, did not at all.
It was when I believe it was Seth Rogen was going through the house on
yeah,
and Michael Cera's with those two girls. And the one chick's blowing him, and the other chick's behind him. And Michael Cera just looks back at Seth Rogen. He's like, he's drinking that Capri Sun, and all he said was sippy time.
Sippy time.
Best part of the movie, hands down.
That was a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. You know, I can complain, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tired.
I found another group of people that I'm extremely annoyed with, Mike.
Ooh, let's hear it. Let's go right out of the gate. Let's go.
So I was driving here this morning, and you know, like when the people were doing construction work on the roads.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the flagger, the guy that, the people that hold the sign, the stop sign, turn it to slow,
Yeah.
My peeve, my peeve of the day. Why is it that when you drive by those people with their stop sign, slow sign, why do they have to stare at they look right into your eyes?
Yeah.
Like, why are you staring into my soul? I'm literally driving by you for a half a second. And you'll never see me again, hopefully. But you managed to look deep into my soul for that split second. I don't care for that.
I think it's like they're probably looking at you. So they're like, I see you, don't drive stupid through here.
Yeah.
I that's probably what it is. They're looking at you like, I got my eye on you. Don't go swerving.
What are they gonna do if you do? You know what I mean? What are they gonna do if you do swerve?
Call the cops on. Oh, they'll call the cops on you.
Well, you figure by then you're long gone, I don't care for that. I don't care for that.
Yeah, but they'll have your license plate number.
I don't care for that action at all. Not a fan. Okay, so there's a thing that I hate.
Mm-hmm.
Let me introduce you to something that I discovered that I like.
All right.
So as I was watching porn, you're always searching around looking for new adventures.
I guess so.
Anyway, they have a thing now, reaction porn. Just like these reaction videos you find online. And the one that I saw was a porno. However, there was a girl, a hot chick, basically narrating it and, just like talking about everything that's going on while it's going on. And it doesn't bug you. You know what I mean? Like you would think this outside source talking the whole time would screw with your head, but it doesn't. It actually kind of helps. Like she's like, like when I don't know, say you see a good shot of something and she's like, ooh, that is so hot. And it's almost like I don't know, I like it.
I'm gonna have to look into this because this is it's rather intriguing. Because
It
I'm like,
really
I'm just
is.
like, how the hell are you gonna do reaction videos to a porno?
Yeah,
This
it's pretty amazing, man.
like this might be another side venture for us now. We're gonna have to start doing this
Right?
too.
We'll put that on the pay site.
Yeah, because I want in on this action. That's what are you doing? Oh, I'm working. You're watching porn. No, I'm working.
Right?
Working.
I
Trust
love
me.
I love I love America today.
Oh, this is wild. I love it. It's great. It's making me happy. Like,
So there you have it. There's my new hate and my new love of the day.
reaction porn.
Reaction porn.
I got my eye.
What's that?
I got my eye. I love it.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
So where are we at?
I have no idea.
What's going on? What
I
are we
have no
doing?
idea.
So we left the show yesterday
Yes.
anticipating the big announcement.
Yes.
And people speculated, they said they're going to change the name from the Act back to Heinz Field. People said that they're going to put bubble block letters on our jerseys. Other people said they're going to put stickers for Dwayne Haskins on their helmet. However, there was one person real early when I was reading all these ideas and things it might be. And one person actually they guessed, they said early on, they said they're going to retire Franco Harris's number, which makes all the sense in the world. It's 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Raiders at the end of the year when it's getting cold, and that's when it happened. It was cold, and the big announcement, of course, was they are going to retire Franco Harris's number 32. I don't know, and I don't recall, but do you even remember anybody in your life wearing number 32 for Pittsburgh?
No. No.
I don't either.
I haven't seen
But
anyone wear that one. 58,
12.
12. I don't recall anyone wearing Jack Ames 59.
It's
Webster.
like an unspoken rule, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
just would assume that you don't wear these guys' numbers.
Yeah.
But they're retiring Franco Harris, and there's going to be a ceremony at the Raider game for the anniversary, the 50-year anniversary, everybody, since the Immaculate Reception. And what a better time to do that for him. So that's really awesome.
Yeah.
I, of course, think that a lot of those numbers could already be retired. Maybe that's what they're kind of trying to do, just slowly start to retire them. You had Joe Green a couple years back. Now you got Franco. I think ultimately you got to get all them guys that are the great, because, that's what you do.
Especially from you're gonna have to like Lynn Swan and Stallworth. Their numbers get used a lot because receiver, you get a lot of wide receivers. But it might be hard to retire those two numbers just because of the position, even though now that you can wear whatever number you want at those positions, it seems like.
Right.
But even then, you're probably going to run out. So I think those two, just because of the position they played, you might not be able to officially retire those two. Just hand it out sparingly. But Mel Blunt, Jack
right.
Ham, Jack Lambert, those guys should be retired. Webster, Bradshaw, definitely. Then it goes down. Who after that is in that mythical category? Because you can retire Rod Woodson's 26.
I think eventually you got to retire Ben and Bettis. Eventually, not right now.
I'd definitely Bettis. Troy's, I would say definitely.
Right.
Bettis, I can see. It's because it's the bus.
And then, like you said as well, Mike. I mean, now that they're changing the number rules, and you can wear number 17 as a receiver, and all these teen numbers and low numbers, and maybe that will open up the door for Swanee and Stallworth to go to the Hall of Fame, because those numbers will be so in demand. You don't have just 80 to 89 to choose from 6 receivers on your team. So maybe that will that'll open it up for them guys.
Yeah, but I kind of like keeping it how it was. It's very small. and just don't issue those numbers, because once you start retiring numbers, you're gonna turn into like the Montreal Canadiens and the Yankees. You're gonna have so many numbers retired. Like, how are you gonna field a team?
Right.
And that's what really can come down with the Steelers. And I kind of like the way the Penguins do it too. This, that's Lemieux and oh my God, I forgot his name. Blanket on his name. Number 21, kid who died in the car back in the was it late 60s or 70s. Michel Briere, I believe. Yeah. So you just keep it
gags, man.
You keep the numbers small. So once you start, oh well, we retired this guy, so now we got to do this guy, then we got to do this guy, then we got to do that guy. It just tends to, I don't know, cheapen the whole this number's retired thing.
What about Yager?
I think Yager should be retired, but it's never going to be reissued again in the Penguins' history.
Maybe they're waiting for Yager to retire.
To retire.
Yeah.
And, well, he owns that team, and he's probably going to skate until long as he can to, keep people coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have no problem with Franco's number being retired, because it has been worn in forever. But now it starts that slippery slope of all right, we got to get everyone. So then you do it every year. It just becomes, oh, okay, it was number retiring this year. It just loses its luster. And you don't want to do it all as a group, because you want to give everyone their own spotlight, and you kind of want to get it done. If you're going to retire someone's number while they're still with us, and a lot of these guys are getting older, and we've already lost so many people from those teams, it becomes a crapshoot of, hey, we retired your number. Oh, wait, we waited a year too long. It must be true. It is. No, I'm not trying to be morbid or mean anything, but
I like it. I think that with Franco Harris, the way they're doing it, you couldn't really plan it out better.
Yeah.
50 years. You got the Raiders. You got them at the end of the season. It's the perfect opportunity to do this for him. And I think that ultimately they're going to get to more, but like you said, it's I don't think it's going to be every year. I can't recall what year it was that they retired Mean Joe Green, but if they keep doing it every few years, give their guy the spotlight every few years. I mean, that's gonna take you decades, because there was quite a few guys on that team that probably should have their number retired. So I mean, if that's what they're doing, I think they're doing it the right way. Like you said, you don't want to kind of bunch them all together. That kind of takes away from the value of the player and what that means to have your number retired. So I like it. I like what they're doing. I like Franco. I'm super pumped for him. He deserves it. He's still alive. He's looking good. He can enjoy it. He can celebrate it. And I like it. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
Free meal Franco, man.
Yes.
my buddy hates Franco Harris.
Mason Rudolph, of course. We learned yesterday that he got dropped from the quarterback 2 to quarterback 3.
Yeah.
On what Mike Tomlin called a clerical error. A clerical error.
Yeah. But yeah, that's some major clerical error there.
I'm starting to think that they mess with Mason up there. He's almost became like the guy that you always mess with in the locker room.
I think this is. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Good.
I think this is Tomlin messing with the media.
You know what? I do too.
I think he's just tired of it, and like, oh, why haven't you named anyone? And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna mess with y'all, and if you don't like it, too bad.
Right. That's what I thought initially. I thought they're fucking with us.
Yeah, either with us or Mason.
Yeah, right. Somebody is being fucked with.
Yes. I'm trying to find the actual quote that he said in. Where is it? It was like one of the best Mike Tomlin quotes ever. So the cut and paste component was the cut and paste component. That is just so Mike Tomlin, and I love it.
Yes.
That's up there with, we're not going to live within our fears. It's boom, right there.
And his teammate Jalen Warren locks up that number 2. He beats out Benny Snell. So now Jalen Warren is going to be behind Najee in the lineup. And you know what? That would normally be a good thing. But again, everything is going to get poo-pooed by that offensive line. So I don't even have a prediction how that's going to go. I hope it goes well for him. And the team, but that remains to be seen.
It does. And like, I don't know. I just hope whoever, if it is Jalen who gets most of the snaps behind Najee or Benny, just as long as they can take some of that pressure, take some of those hits off of Najee. Because
Yeah.
they're just gonna feed him the rock like the way they did Willie Parker back in the day.
Yes.
It's gonna be like, all right, here you go. Have fun.
Now, Bart Scott of the Baltimore Ravens comes out and says, Pittsburgh is not a playoff team. This team will not make the playoffs. This is more than likely going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. You think it's going to be that bad, Mike?
I'm starting to think it's going to be that bad.
That's potential, huh?
It does, with the way, it's that all. It all comes back to that offensive line.
Yeah.
It really, really does. And that's going to be the hard part, is that O-line.
Let me put the offensive line. Go ahead.
It's just going to mess everything up.
Let me put the offensive line aside for a second, in case anybody, after the decision came out to start Mitch Trubisky and then obviously Pickett and then Mason Rudolph. If anybody has any issues with that, I'm going to read a couple of numbers that I pulled. Okay, Mike.
Okay.
So from quarterbacks with minimum of 30 starts from 2018 among active quarterbacks with 30 minimum starts since 2018, these 5 quarterbacks have the highest winning percentage. Mahomes 790,
Oof.
Lamar Jackson 755, Tom Brady 723, Aaron Rodgers 711, and coming in at number 5 is Mitch Trubisky at 65.8.
Holy shit.
So of all the active quarterbacks that has at least 30 starts since 2018, Mitch lands in that number 5 spot overall.
That's
not the only one I have. I have another pretty good one here. Okay. Quarterbacks with at least 10,000 yards passing, at least 64% completion percentage, and 29 plus wins in their first 4 seasons.
Holy
QBs with at least 10,000 yards passing, 64% completion, and at least 29 wins in their first 4 seasons.
And that's our quarter. That's our QB1.
Mahomes is 1. Kurt Warner is 2. Russell Wilson's 3. Dak Prescott is 4. Carson Palmer 5, and Mitch Trubisky 6. So that being said, is he the GOAT? No, he's not the GOAT, but the QB1 for what we are doing now, going through transition phase with this team and just retiring our franchise quarterback, according to these numbers, we might have made an all right decision.
Yeah. And, if in that company with those players for doing, putting up those numbers, I'll take it. None
of those quarterbacks were playing for the Bears.
No.
The Chiefs, the Rams when they were good, the greatest show on turf. The 12-man Seattle teams, Carson Palmer, Dak Prescott, and then Mitch. So I mean, and then the top group, like I said, nobody. The Chiefs, Seahawks, Cowboys, Bengals, and then up top, these teams are the Chiefs, the Ravens, New England, Green Bay, and then Mitch with Chicago. So the only person that's really making these kind of numbers for a team that isn't a real ideal situation for a quarterback would be Mitch. So I mean, that's got to give us some kind of confidence.
It gives me confidence, and just that he was able to take those bad Bear teams to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and people are like, "Oh, it was that defense." Well, the offense, still had to go out there and produce. He was able, go out there and put up points and win. And hey, if the defense got in there, guess what? The Steelers have a pretty good defense too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
If he can just play the way he did here, I'll be happy with that.
That, and not only that, according to these two lists that I just read, he has the numbers too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It isn't like the defense was just winning. He was able to fall into these categories of completion percentage, yards, so you can see how that would be an argument that people would use as the Bears defense, which it was good, but I mean, it wasn't no 85 Bears or any Baltimore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'll take our defense now over theirs.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely. So Damn that offensive line. You know, if they could, we will see, Mike.
We will. It all comes back. It all comes down to that offensive line.
We're about 4 days away. 4 days, few hours. We're almost there.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
But before we get there, of course, we're gonna have to go through College Saturday. College Saturday. Now, Pitt, after the new rankings came out last week, they're still at 17 on the AP, but on the coaches poll, they moved up to 14.
Oh, nice.
Yes. MJ Devonshire, he got the ACC Defensive Player of the Week last week after the big interception to beat West Virginia. And they play this Saturday, 3:30 at home against Tennessee. And I think it's going to be another huge game as far as the atmosphere. I don't know if it's going to live up to what they did against West Virginia, but I think that place is going to get wild. I think people love what the way that things went. They love the results. So I think that people are going to get back out this week, at least hopefully.
Hopefully, and keep that momentum going.
Absolutely.
Not just for like the teams, but for the fans showing up and being excited for the team.
Absolutely, man.
Because you watch a lot of these big colleges, man, even if they're in, areas where they have a pro team, Saturdays, man, they are packed.
Yeah.
They're packed and they're ready to go.
Big name you mentioned, I think last week, one of the most amazing performances so far. A lot of people were talking about the play of Joey Porter Jr. over in your neck of the woods at Penn State.
Yes, Joey Porter Jr.
A lot of people were saying that Steelers should be watching this guy, Mike.
Well, I think they're just. I think we should too if his play improves. But I think a lot of people are saying that just the last name.
Right.
They're seeing his dad, but he's not a bad corner. There is talk that I saw somewhere first round, second round, third round, anywhere in there that can be drafted. Of course,
what year is
you
he?
say that now. I'm pretty sure he's a junior this year.
Okay. Is he coming out, or do they know yet?
Don't know yet. Probably end of the year. It wouldn't surprise me if he declares early, comes out. Yeah. But it's too.
He's gonna be.
I think he's gonna be
somebody.
Yeah. I like the way he plays. I only saw a handful of games last year, so it's hard for me to say how good he's going to be.
You're right,
but it's a good Big Ten corner, and some of those Big Ten corners do translate pretty well into the NFL, especially coming to the AFC North. You got to be able to stop the run, and playing the Big Ten, you have to do that too. He had stuff I saw. He's not afraid to get up in there,
Right.
I guarantee you, people who have followed him better than me are like, "What are you talking about?" I've only seen a handful of his games, so trying to get a whole profile on him.
Yeah, if he's intense, anywhere near what his dad was, I'm sure he'll do just fine.
Hey, he always seems to have a nose for the ball.
Yeah, that's a plus, man.
That's plus.
Guys that just naturally have that knack for getting to the ball, Let me jump back to the Steelers for 1 second.
Yeah.
We're talking rankings because we spoke of the Pitt rankings. The Pittsburgh Steelers are ranked somewhere right around 21 on the power poll this week. 21. What a shame because and again, how many times we beat this drum, but what a shame because if that line was halfway decent, I think we're top half of the teams, no doubt.
Be a lot higher. Yeah. One of the other ones I saw, I think it was a Pro Football Focus, had Steelers in at 16.
Okay.
And that even surprised me that they had us that high.
Right.
Because, what we keep saying is the offensive line and even the quarterback situation. Because, Mitch still has he has a lot to prove to a lot of people when I see him.
Absolutely.
Do more than what he has done to give him any type of recognition or credit, even though the stuff he just routed off, he's in some pretty good, rare company.
Absolutely. And like you said, he's never started for a good team. So
yeah,
I get this damn line. I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, me too. Every time we start pumping up the offensive line.
Yeah. I just hope one day I wake up from my sleep and that was all a dream and we have a good offensive line again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping
Who
that's
would
what
have
happens.
thought we rooting for the days of Justin Hartwig?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm not slandering the guy. He won a Super Bowl, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
With us, yeah, he was I liked it when we got him. We picked him up from Detroit, guard to center. I remember back in the day, it seemed like it just felt weird. Like Detroit line became available and we picked him up. He became a pretty good player.
Yeah, right.
Like we got Charlie Batch from there. He was a better backup than he was a starter there. Hartwig was a better player than he was up there.
Right. I mean, it's the same as the Pirates. You know what I mean? You go to play for the Pirates. There's no expectation.
No.
You're in that Pirates locker room. You know, it's a different. You know, people always say it's a whole different feel in that Pirates locker room than it is anywhere else. You go other places and there's expectation to win, and you know, people are probably talking each other up and helping each other mentally with things. And I could just picture the inside of the Pirates locker room looks like a fucking insane asylum. You know, guys just dangling over their chair, their tongue hanging out of their mouth. I can picture disaster in there.
You know, they have no expectations, so there's probably just a party atmosphere over there.
Yeah. And then you see this guy go to the Yankees, he becomes an all-star. You see this guy go to Houston, he's in the World Series. You know, so it's the same thing. This place, you know, the PNC Park is a fucking dead end, man.
Yeah, kind of like, you know, Ford Field, and you know, look at Matt Stafford.
Yeah,
everyone thought, you know, oh, he's just putting up those fantasy yards. You know, he's good for fantasy football. Then you actually put him on a good team, and oh shit, he can actually play.
The only good thing that ever happened at Ford Field was us winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So the Pirates will win, Mike. The Pirates win game 1 of 3 against the Mets yesterday. Win 8-2.
8-2.
That drops the Mets out of first place. They were just ahead of the Braves going into the day. They dropped to 85-51. Now they're slightly behind Atlanta in their division. And on the total opposite end of the spectrum from the 85-51, our battling Buccos here in Western Pennsylvania are 50-84, 85-51, and 50-84. So total opposite.
Hey, you know, things are looking up, you know. We had that one win. If you look at it in a bubble, okay, just in a bubble, in a vacuum, it's the greatest baseball game ever played. Okay, O'Neal Cruz is the greatest baseball player ever played in this bubble. Okay.
Now, O'Neal Cruz, Mike, he hit a home run into the Allegheny River yesterday, which is always impressive. The guy's a beast, we know that. However, in his last 40 at bats, O'Neal Cruz is hitting 297 with a strikeout rate of 28%. So he got that down. He's got his average up his last 40 at bats. Let's see what he could do here through the last month. But you know, he's coming around. His numbers are definitely moving up, batting up around 300. And like I said, it's always exciting to see a guy hit the ball in the Allegheny. So
yeah,
O'Neal Cruz has a big game yesterday against the Mets. Pirates play games 2 and 3 today in a doubleheader. 12:35 is game 1, and they still have it as 12:35 and 6:35. So I don't know if the games are going to be 6 hours apart like that, or how they're going to do their doubleheader. Usually, I think they wait an hour or so in between. But that is the times written right now is 12:35 for game 1, 6:35 for game 2, and then once the Mets leave at the end of the day, we got the Cards coming in for the weekend. Cardinals come Friday through Sunday for a 3-game weekend series against our battling Buccos. And I have another, Mike. Do you have anything else to say about the Pirates before I move on?
Nothing I've already said. So
okay. So I do have another baseball related story. You remember yesterday when I spoke about Cody Clemons?
Yeah.
Roger Clemens' son. Okay, so apparently I dug more into it. Now, Cody Clemons, he's not even a pitcher. Cody Clemons is an infielder who was put in the pitch for whatever, I think because they were down 10-0.
Yeah.
And they let him pitch, which isn't the first time. I think it's had 6 or 8 times before this has been a thing. However, the pitch that he struck out the dude from, you know, the MVP, the pitch that he threw to strike him out was 68 miles an hour. 68 miles an hour. And the guy, and please help me with his name.
Shawnee Ohtani.
Shawnee Ohtani. So Clemens wanted the ball because he's never struck out anybody out before. This is his first strikeout. And it was obviously not a problem, but Shawnee Ohtani wanted to write something on it, a little message. And he wrote on there for him, nasty pitch. Nasty pitch. So you get the game ball signed by the MVP, nasty pitch, for your strikeout of that 68-mile-per-hour pitch, man.
That's great. I like that.
Yes.
Fun little, I like that, someone who he can appreciate, hey, you got me.
How cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing, baseball players, they have that sense of, that. So good for him.
Well, yeah, because, they stand around and do nothing 95% of the game. Tell where's the lie? Where's the lie?
It's true.
I
played baseball, and I wouldn't have played if it would have been constant moving. I like the standing out in the field. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, they stand there, pick your nose.
A little sun.
Yeah, that's yeah. They're ball players. They're not athletes.
Like fishermen and some of these other sports.
I say that they're running around the base pass 20 miles an hour. They're not athletes. I'll show you an athlete.
I do want to talk, Mike. I do want to talk about something that's kind of troubling me. I got word. I reached out to a friend of ours the other day too, because we had initially was working on a small project together. So he gets back to me, and apparently Hit 'em Hard Music is broke up, man. Our friends at Hit 'em Hard, I got a hold of Antoine because, of course, you remember that they were going to do an entrance track for our show.
Yeah.
So I got a hold of him. I said, "Hey, man, any word on the track?" And he says, "You know what, man?" He goes, "We broke up." He goes, I feel bad. He goes, I wish I could do something to help you. He recommended a couple of the guys to get a hold of to have them do it for us. But we were talking recently about him changing the name of their brand.
Yeah.
Of course, it was Hit 'em Hard, and then we noticed on social media, along with everybody else, that it changed to Rock Solid Entertainment. And apparently that's what it was about, man. There was probably a creative, I would guess, a creative issue.
Yeah.
And the guys are still going, so I mean it's not discouraging in that sense.
Yeah.
But together they are not together. Hit 'em Hard is no longer. So I'm kind of beats me up, man. One of the main things about the guys that Hit 'em Hard was this: they were our first interview.
Yeah.
And they were basically, with their hustle, very similar to where we were in what we're doing. And it was fun because it was almost like they were our brother hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime they would need us, we would be there for them, anytime vice versa. So it kind of stinks because, and like I said, it's awesome. They're all still out there doing their thing, but them collectively as a group, no more. So
that's what it sucks. It's sad, but that's what happens in business sometimes. It's not all, especially in music, when you're not a whole, oh God, I forget who said this the one time. If you're not a whole act, but you're just individuals, it's gonna come, it's gonna go. It's not how Wu-Tang's always together. So hopefully, hey, as long as they're all still making music, even if it's individually no longer together, it's still awesome that they're also going out there doing what they need to do, what they want to do. And I'm now just interested, to hear the different music from everyone.
Absolutely.
To see what new stuff they're going to bring.
He recommended, a few of the guys. No, I'm not gonna. There's no secrets about it. I'll tell you. He recommended Tempo. He said Tempo is a very creative young person. He said he would probably be perfect. And then before, he was talking about having Cigarellos do it. So we will either go to one of those two guys, I think, ultimately to make our intro song. But just like I said, it was just a bummer when he the thing was, I seen stuff going on online, and I was trying to put the dots together and figure out what was happening. To hear him, to get that text from him actually personally, that's when it hit me.
But you know, I just wish, you know, all the success to everyone. You know,
Absolutely.
because it
And
is like you said. You know, they were like our first.
right.
Hard was our first, and then the second season they were our first too. So
Yeah. And they helped us fill a lot of time in our second season.
yeah, they helped us out a bunch.
Locally, Aubrey Burchell. Aubrey Burchell, local Pittsburgh girl. She is on America's Got Talent. She's doing well. And she sings tonight. She'll be on tonight on America's Got Talent, everybody. So check that out. Vote for Aubrey Burchell. 8 o'clock is America's Got Talent. She has a voice of an angel. I read, so maybe it might be worth checking her out. Hopefully, she can bring some gold back to
the
gold, baby.
We had Morgan Gruber on American Idol. Now, what was her name again?
Aubrey Burchell.
Aubrey Burchell. Hopefully, she can get to that. Get to that level to where how far as Morgan did, or even further.
You figure Morgan was American Idol. She's America's Got Talent, so I like that.
We just
variety.
Had Christopher Megan dropping into the chat saying Emmanuel Sanders retired too.
Oh wow! You know what? He was my least favorite of the three.
Of the Young Money crew?
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites. I was very disappointed when Sanders, when we let him go. And we couldn't re-sign him. And even like Mike Wallace, but I was more like Sanders because he was the more overall receiver compared to Wallace.
He was the one that didn't have too many tricks.
But he was still solid. He's just
he was solid, and I think that he kind of fell to the wayside because the Mike Wallace, he was so fast, he was such a deep threat, and then Antonio Brown could do everything that he did. I think in my opinion was that Emmanuel just kind of fell in line of just being an overall good receiver. And that's why I like the other guys better, because there was a little bit more trick to their kick. But you know what? Emmanuel Sanders, you can't deny what he did. I think he went, about 30 different teams after he left, and I think he won a Super Bowl, maybe a couple.
He won the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl in Denver.
Yeah.
He went Denver, San Francisco, New Orleans, and then Buffalo last year. He let's see. He played in 172 games, started 122, 704 catches, 9,245 yards, 51 touchdowns.
That's a solid career, baby.
That's a dang good career. 10 rushing touchdowns.
So Lil Emmanuel's done. So I think that's all of them now. I don't think any of Young Money is in the NFL anymore, correct?
No, none of them are in the NFL anymore.
And probably
he won Super Bowl 50. Yep, won Super Bowl 50.
That was with Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He had a good career. He probably was more productive than Mike Wallace, because I don't think Mike Wallace was really around too long, right? He's got to be.
Let's pull up Mike Wallace right here. See if I can pull up his stats. I can find. Here we go. Wallace. Really? Yes, exactly. give me your.
I almost fell asleep, man.
Well, I was trying to get to the site where I had Mandy Sanders up. There we go. He's played in 144 games, 538 catches, 8,072 yards, and 57 touchdowns.
All right.
So he didn't have a bad career either. He had 15 rushing touchdowns.
Where all did he go when he left here, for fuck's sake? It seemed like when he left here, he didn't go to too many places. I mean, that's a lot of numbers.
Miami.
I remember that.
Miami for 2, Minnesota for a year, Baltimore for 2, and then Philly for 1 year, and it looks like he was hurt. He only played 2 games for Philly.
Yeah, I don't even remember him playing for Philly.
No,
I don't recall him being that productive for Baltimore.
he had 8 touchdowns over 2 years for him.
Did he?
Yeah, he had over 1,700 yards. He had
And
1,000-yard
then
seasons.
Minnesota, I just barely.
Minnesota was his worst year as like a full starter. He only had 2 touchdowns, and yeah, he had 39 catches, 473 yards, and only 2 touchdowns. That was his worst year ever. I'm not going to count his last year because he was hurt, but that was his worst year.
I can specifically only remember him playing for the Dolphins and maybe just slightly the Vikings. Anything after that,
I remember the Dolphins and the 2 years at the Ravens. I totally forgot about his Minnesota and his
and the Ravens. Yeah, I remember.
I remember him playing for the Ravens because he still wore 17 there. But I tell you what, it's not a bad career.
No, so all 3 of them did pretpretty well. I mean, obviously Antonio puts up the GOAT numbers.
Yeah,
but the other 2 guys, they didn't do too bad, man.
No, it was just a shame we couldn't keep them all together. But that's salary cap error in sports. Got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
AB 83 touchdowns.
AB was he was
a beast.
Mike, I'm going to keep it local with some local news here. We just talked about Ms. Burchell in Westmoreland County. Man accused of chasing 2 women with a sword while on meth. Man accused of chasing 2 women with a sword while on meth. Who the hell goes on meth? I think I said this to you the other day when we were talking.
Yeah, we were like, who seeks out meth?
I want to go on meth. There's nothing about meth that even is semi-appealing. Your teeth fall out. You steal. You all you want to do is do your meth. Where does it pop into one's head when they say, you know what, I want to get into meth? Meth sounds like a good idea for me.
I can see cocaine. I can see weed, or like meth and heroin. What? I just don't. I don't get it.
Guy chases a woman with with a sword. I mean, at what point do you say, "Wow, this is really cool, man. I got to give this meth a try."
If she's wielding a sword, I'm thinking she's an immortal. This is a Highlander type situation. She's just had enough. Been alive for a couple 100 years. Like, you know what? I'm gonna do meth. See what this is all about. And we're gonna go. Who would have thought the final immortal would be a meth head?
Yeah, they always look so great when you see the pictures of them too. They basically turn into a Picasso. You have like one eye here, one eye here. Their nose is over here.
Yeah,
they got no fucking
it
teeth.
is so bad. Like what that drug does to you.
I don't know much about meth, but it seems like it just does not belong in the human body.
It doesn't. But you see TJ Watt restructured his contract.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think it freed up like $6 million in cap space.
Okay.
Because I know they like under Colbert, they always like to have like some money left over just in case something happens. They need to sign someone or not. But yeah.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, okay, man. And Christopher's hooking us up in the chat with all the info.
Good. Hey,
because everything I forget, I read and I forget to bring to the show.
Yeah, right. Thank you. So to follow up to the sword story, Mike.
Yes.
Man dressed as Michael Myers seen walking along a Florida beach. Now, one might say that's not too scary. That's not too. But you know what? Remember with the clowns on the side of the road, how they that became alarming. And Florida's hot, and Michael Myers wears that big overall thing.
Yeah.
And a mask.
Yeah.
So, do you think that Michael Myers walking along the beach in Florida is that alarming, or is that just people being people?
Anywhere else, I'd say people being people, but this is Florida we're talking about.
What the hell's happening down there?
Florida, like remember years ago when people were like eating each other's faces because they were all messed up on bath salts.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm out. If I see Michael Myers walking, see him coming. Yeah, no, I can't. No, not with Florida. I don't trust Florida.
Let me ask you this. Say you're in Florida, you're with the family, it's 8, 9 at night, you decide, hey, let's go down, let's take a walk on the beach. It's dark, let's listen to the waves crashing a little bit. And you look and down the way, here comes Michael Myers walking towards you.
No, I'm out. I'm running. I'm finding the nearest alligator and throwing it at him.
Yeah. Or the wife, or whoever you have with you.
chuck a kid at him.
Yeah. I go with the wife because it seems like the kid would be a lot less to eat. They'd still be hungry for your ass. So I'd probably go with the wife. Mike, in Japan, they have this thing now. If you have a loved one who passes away in Japan, you could now go to the cemetery with your smartphone, and they have one of those scan boxes. They're starting to put scan boxes on people's gravestones in Japan. So when you go to visit loved ones, you just scan it, and then you can start to watch whether it be a family that submits the videos, pictures, whatever.
Awesome.
But yeah, you could then, watch the person in life and see them and hear them talking and that. And I thought that's really cool. That's something.
I like that.
How can you improve the burial, people's death and everything? And I think that's a good step, especially with technology. I think that opens a whole door for things, and especially in this technology era that we're in. So that's pretty cool. I don't think it probably won't be long before we see it here.
Yeah, and this reminds me, God, it was probably like a couple months ago. I was watching 60 Minutes, my dad and I, and there's like this project that they're doing with like AI, and I don't know if it's like AI, but like 3D modeling of like Holocaust survivors' faces, to where they would sit there and they would answer all their questions about the whole experience in the concentration camps and their time in Germany and everything. And it was to where you can go to computer and you would ask it a question, and the face would appear. And then and it felt like you were kind of having a conversation with them.
Yes.
And then I think they were talking about how this can be used to like go to family members.
Yes.
And you have all this stuff recorded. So generations down the line, or like immediate, you can do that. But would it be weird to have tombstones? They would have this screen on there, and you have the person talking to you. Imagine being all messed up walking through a cemetery. And these things start talking to you at night.
Yeah.
As you're just, I'm going to go be drunk in the cemetery. I'm going to go get high at the cemetery. And all these voices, people start talking to you, tripping you out.
You would pass a Karen and she'd be like, are you supposed to be here? What are you doing here? Do you know somebody up here?
Right? Like, man, the ghosts are talking to me.
You know what?
And the ghost, the real ghost is sitting there being like, look at this fool.
About 10 years ago, before this even became a reality, I did hear about this idea, and I was telling a friend of ours, and she, because her father had passed away, and I said, I guarantee you in the next 10, 15 years, they're going to have a technology that you're going to be able to talk to your dad. No, it's not going to be your dad, but they will be able to make a program or something where it's very similar, that you can sit down and talk to your loved ones after they're gone. I think people are going to dig, man.
I think so,
even though it's not your real dad, it still gives you a little bit, because, people will keep the smallest little things from their loved ones that have passed. So I think people will dig this, man.
I think so too. And why not? Stuff like that's cool. I like that.
Yes. Another person from PA in some trouble here, but in a different sense. Now, we've been talking a lot about these shark attacks. We talked about, I think yesterday in Hawaii, there was a shark attack. Now there was a PA woman got killed. Like, she was snorkeling over the weekend down in the Bahamas. A PA woman snorkeling in the Bahamas, she got eaten by a shark and killed. Ooh. So there's just another person with these shark attacks, man.
The sharks have seen what we've done on land, and they're seeing what we're doing in the water too. They're like, nope, we're getting everyone. We don't care if you did it or not. We're protecting our home, and you guys litter everywhere and destroy everything, so we're going to get you.
What's the movie with Charles Bronson where he went back and killed all those people? The people killed his family, and he went back after him. What was the name of that movie?
Death Wish.
Death Wish. That's what the sharks are doing. It feels like they're
Yeah.
on a death wish.
Mhm.
Like maybe we, the humans fucked up sharkhood somehow, and they're just,
Yeah.
they're coming back for vengeance. With vengeance, man.
We kill what, millions of sharks a year, and sharks kill like 5.
That's what I'm saying. They're pissed.
And they're like, fuck you guys. You're gonna up your numbers. We're gonna step our game up more.
Yes.
It's like a Cold War thing. It's like it's escalating. Pretty soon these sharks are gonna have laser beams on their head. Austin Powers is coming out of nowhere.
I am out at that point.
That's why I don't go in the water. I've seen those like aerial footage. I've seen the aerial footage at the beach, and like the sharks are just all along the line. They're just sitting there like, we're gonna get something.
Gonna go to a fucking ocean ever again the rest of my life.
Nope. I wouldn't even dip my toe in that ocean. I know what's in there.
We're a bit worried about the deep depth of the ocean now. Outer space. Astronauts' blood shows signs of DNA mutation after a space flight. Astronauts' blood shows signs of DNA mutation after a space flight. So the total opposite of the water, people in the air way up are reporting that they had signs of DNA mutation.
That's comforting. They come back all stretchy anyway. They're taller because they get all stretched out. Now they're coming back as mutants.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. I've seen the Fantastic Four. I've seen all the remakes.
Yeah.
Dude's gonna come back looking like the Thing. Next thing I know, my car's gonna be picked up and thrown to kill a supervillain, and it's gonna miss and kill a little kid. Next thing you know, my insurance is getting billed for this shit. No.
Exactly. It always comes back on your yes.
It does too. It does too. I don't think, Reed Richards is, footing the bill.
You don't think who is?
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh.
In the Fantastic Four. Bruh. I don't think he's footing the bill.
Who was the stretchy guy? Was there a stretchy guy?
Oh, yeah, that was Mr. Fantastic.
I'd like to do that. I don't know. Out of all of them, there was what? There was Thing.
There's Thing.
There was Stretchy Guy. There was a couple more, wasn't there?
The chick who turned invisible.
Yeah, you know what? That's what I want. I want to be invisible.
Mrs. Reed, and then you had Johnny Storm, Flame On, turned into. He was the Human Torch.
I want to be the invisible one.
Yeah.
You imagine how much cool shit you could get into being the invisible one.
I'll be rich.
Yeah, damn right. Speaking of rich, what about being hungry? We have Mike coming to Pittsburgh. Hungry? We have coming to Pittsburgh for the first time ever. Donut Fest. Donut Fest is coming to Pittsburgh for the first time ever, Mike. There's going to be bakeries galore from around the Pittsburgh area. There's going to be all these different places bringing their food, their product, and first time ever, Donut Fest. What do you think, man? I miss Rib Fest. I don't know if I'm going to miss Donut Fest.
I will be there for. Oh, I hear an Ewok calling, but I will be there for Donut Fest.
Yes.
Talk about Donut Fest. I'll be right back. We haven't had an interruption like this in a while.
All righty. So yes, everybody. Donut Fest. Now, what people I don't know if they realize or not, but Western PA, we got some pretty good bakeries, some pretty good donut shops, and especially here in the county that we're in, we have, at least three pretty long-standing donut shops that I hope that they participate as well, because I know they'll go over big. But also all around the Western Pennsylvania area in the Pittsburgh region, I do know that we got mad bakeries, donut shops, and you know what? Everybody that talks about the donut shops near them or the donuts they eat, they're always the best. You always hear people saying, you know what? You got to have stuff from the Oakmont Bakery. It's the best. Hey, you got to have this from this donut shop in Beaver County. They're the best. So you know what? I think even if you did miss Rib Fest, which I deeply regret doing, I will certainly make my way up for Donut Fest, because the donuts, like I said, they're very good, and they have great reputation. And matter of fact, I've worked in donut shops in my past, and I do know a little bit about the business. And like I said, I think just from the donut shops from here in our county alone are going to make a splash. But I think you're going to see a lot of people, especially being the first the first donut fest overall coming to Pittsburgh. I hope there's a large turnout because I think there's going to be a lot of treats, people.
I hope. I love me some donuts.
Yes. But do you love children working at the donut shop? Like here in Pennsylvania, three Dunkin' Donut stores violated child labor laws. There was a total of 39 minors, Mike, allowed to, they were roughly 14, 15 years old, 39 of them, working outside permissible hours for minors. So 3 Dunkin' Donuts here in PA is under fire for their laws or breaking of the laws with their minor workers.
Fine them as much as you can. Those laws are in place for a reason. There's a reason we don't have child labor anymore, people.
Same
time. They have to go to school. These laws are in place for a reason. When it comes to minors working, they're there because people think that they try to exploit them to get all the hours they can out of them.
Absolutely.
And they won't stick up for themselves. And they won't complain. So no, they're there to protect your workers, and they're also there to protect you too as the employer. It's not that hard.
It's always a sticky situation when you have children in the workplace to begin with. I mean, there's a lot that you have to watch and be careful. And just on the sense of somebody that's else working there that just might say something that's inappropriate. Not thinking because if you're around a group of adults, it's one thing, but if little Cindy is in there and you say something, it could be totally different. So I think that's always a slippery slope. Albeit they are allowed to work at that age, to a certain capacity. So it's tough, but it's a challenge, man.
I always hate it. Like when I was working retail, we get like the minors in there just because it was just they can only work so many hours, and then they had like every so many hours they had to take a break. And it'd be like weird seeing someone like working like 5 hours. Like, why are you getting 2 breaks? Like, oh, I'm only this. I'm a minor. It's like, oh, okay. Because you're used to like you have everything planned out. You're used to it. But when they come in, it just makes it. It's if that was like my biggest complaint, it really wasn't that bad of a complaint. It was just like, oh, I got to figure out an extra 15-minute break. That's easy to cover, but it's like one of those things because you hate to forget it because then you're not giving them their proper whatever their proper breaks.
And if you're anything like me, and you feel like you've been at work all day after an hour of being there, and you go in the back room to smash your head off the wall for 10 minutes and let all the cuss words out, that becomes a difficult thing to do with minors at the workplace.
Well, they're part of the ones back there too, banging their head off the wall. These stupid fucking old people that work here. These idiots.
Yes. One more thing before I get into the trivia for the day, Mike. I think we'll talk more about it toward the end of the week, but I think that I'm going to make a wager. I'm going to make a wager here for this weekend with football starting. Football's in full swing. I think if Pitt wins against Tennessee, and I have Pitt winning against Tennessee, and then I also have the Steelers winning against Cincinnati. However, if either one or both of them lose, I think I'm taking the beard off.
What?
This is my off-season beard. So I'm throwing it in a wager. If either of those two teams lose this weekend, the beard's coming off. If they both win, it stays. But like I said, it is the off-season beard. So after that, I don't know what's going to happen. But yes, I'm putting the beard on the line.
Let's go Tennessee.
What's that?
Let's go Tennessee.
Fuck you, Tennessee.
I was thinking, I don't want to see it go, but you know what? I want to see it go.
I want to see the beauty, right? The beauty.
People look better with beards.
Tell everybody about the website while we're talking about exciting, beautiful things.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading chat for a second. 2wminders.com. You head on over there. You're going to find out everything you need to know. 2wminders. Link to YouTube, Spotify, email, merch store, all that fun stuff. And Apparently, CM Punk was talking smack on Crosby, Malkin, and Ron Francis at the end of the AEW pay-per-view.
Well, I hear there's a bunch of crazy shit going on with him anyway.
Well, I heard,
Guys
like
got suspended and
him, his buddy, like I don't know if he's like his trainer or whatever. They're in his locker room after Punk's did that thing, and then the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, who are executive vice presidents of AEW, come into the room. They all fight, and people are getting hurt. People are getting bit. It's a wild situation.
Listen.
I love it.
If you're from Chicago, you got no room to talk about anybody. End of story.
Especially the Penguins.
Yes.
You smoke your ass.
We beat them in the Stanley Cup in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And Kurt Angle would, I don't know, maybe.
Kurt Angle's from Pittsburgh. Kurt Angle is an actual legitimate gold medal winner.
It's true.
It's damn true. The three eyes.
Right, so we are down to the last few minutes of the show. Mike, you ready for some trivia for the day?
I am ready for some trivia.
All right, you got your pencil?
Sure. We'll say I do. I think
all right. Here we go. Which Western Pennsylvania University, Mike, which Western Pennsylvania University developed the first polio vaccination in 1954? I'll read it one more time. Which Western Pennsylvania University developed the first polio vaccination in 1954? And go.
I don't know. I legit don't know this one. I don't like how this is behind the podcast to the chat, because they're like, I'm ready for some trivia, and I need the answer written to me. Oh man. The obvious answer would be Pitt.
All right. So, the question of the day: which Western Pennsylvania University developed the first polio vaccination in 1954? Do you have a guess?
There's three that are coming to my mind: Pitt, Duquesne, and Carnegie Mellon.
Pitt, Duquesne, and Carnegie Mellon. Now, I can give you a hint, and I can tell you if one of those are the answer or not.
Or one of them the answer, please.
Yes, one of them is the answer.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna go with the chat. There, Christopher's saying maybe Carnegie, and I'm gonna go with Carnegie Mellon.
The chat says Carnegie. You say Carnegie Mellon, and that's your final answer?
Yeah, that's what we're going with. Team effort today.
All right. They say Carnegie Mellon, and of course, the answer is
I'm waiting. Yeah, making fun of my internet connection.
Oh, I got connection. I'm just messing with you.
You dick.
And that is incorrect. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Which Western Pennsylvania University developed the first polio vaccination in 1954? And that, of course, is the University of Pittsburgh. It was in your list, but unfortunately, that was not the answer that you chose.
That was the most obvious one, and I was like, it can't be that obvious.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. Another great achievement.
We tried.
Another great achievement from the Western Pennsylvania area. You did try. It was a valiant effort, but just unfortunately, just short. But that's all right. Hey, you have the rest of the month to come back. Today is only the 7th, Mike?
7th.
7th. But hey, like Mike said, check out the website. A lot of cool stuff over there. And we want to thank everyone for tuning in today. We're on every day from Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And in the evening, we are on our podcast. We turn this episode into the podcast form over on Spotify at 8 o'clock. So you want to check that out. Mike, do you have anything else, my man?
I really got nothing, but other than thank you, Christopher, for hanging out and chat.
Yes, Christopher,
yes.
We appreciate you.
Yes.
Any day that you could come on, Christopher, and give Mike the wrong answer, I appreciate you even more. So
they
thank
said
you,
maybe.
Christopher.
They said I don't know. So
You know what, Christopher, for your help, we're going to send you, courtesy of the Two Dumb Yinzers, a brand new Two Dumb Yinzer hat. There you go, Christopher. That is coming to you. So connect with us. We will get your information and send that to you ASAP. Thank you so much. And
I'm
and
here every
everybody-
day. You never send me anything. That's not fair.
well, yeah, you. Matter of fact, for Mike, I actually
appreciate your help, Christopher. I
who
really
was the
do.
redhead that beheaded Trump on the front of the magazine? Griffin, Kathy Griffin.
Kathy Griffin.
So that's kind of what I did to Mike here. In return for his work, I beheaded him. But
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
But thank you, everybody, again.
Yes.
We appreciate you greatly. Please continue to watch us. And